Ladies and gentlemen, this is really interesting, and this is just awesome. Newsweek, Donald Trump Jr. will run for president in 2024, likely win GOP nomination. I think so also. If he ran, he would win the GOP nomination. Donald Trump Jr. will seek the Republican nomination in 2024, Salon. So Newsweek, Salon, the Inquisitor, Donald Trump Jr. is running for president in 2024, says Republican strategist Rick Wilson. So, I think that's fantastic. Number one, he didn't commit any crimes in meeting with Natalia Veselnitskaya to obtain Clinton's deleted yoga emails. If you think that's a criminal act, you are a hardcore, programmed, just zombie I'm with her person. There's a reason that Mueller did not indict anyone associated with that meeting, because there was nothing illegal or unlawful about the meeting. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. If anything, Glenn Simpson of Fusion GPS met before and after with Natalia Veselnitskaya. There's no evidence that the Kremlin ordered the meeting. In fact, there was a judge recently in one of the cases that said, the U.S. government shouldn't make any claims that Putin ordered Veselnitskaya to meet with Trump Jr. This was part of a myth and a fantasy that he tried to get Hillary's emails. Yeah, well, she had servers outside of the United States government with top secret and special access program intelligence. And anyway, simply being a Russian lawyer doesn't mean the Russian intelligence services set up the whole scheme. So they say, oh, there's a Russian lawyer there. That means the Russians wanted to speak. They wanted dirt on Hillary. Well, what about the Steele dossier? It's not like Trump Jr. purchased a dossier that said the Golden Muumuu enjoys bodily fluids raining down upon her. No, enjoy the visual on this Friday. Enjoy the visual. So, if he actually obtained the emails, which weren't classified, then he could have gone to the FBI or anyone else and said, hey, I have these emails that they were actually hacked by a foreign nation. So guess what? That foreign nation has all of her top secret and special access program intelligence because she used the server for one purpose, to evade the U.S. government and the United States, citizens of the United States, to hide her Clinton Foundation emails. I explained that in But Her Top Secret Emails and But Her Deleted Emails on Amazon. My book's on Amazon regarding this. So the whole thing, and they say, well, how could she run? How could he run? Because, he worked with the Russians. Like, no, he didn't. That's absurd. Anyway, number one, the Democrats say her server was never hacked. Number two, they say that it was just deleted yoga emails and there was nothing classified. So even if he were to obtain her deleted emails, that there was nothing there that would have been a criminal act. If anything, it would have pointed to her servers being infiltrated, and all the information, including 22 top secret emails and 2,000 plus classified emails, would have been obtained by the Russians. The country that Democrats are tough on. They're tough with uranium. We only gave you 20%. You could have had 50, but we were tough on you. Anyway, this is really interesting. Let's read this. Donald Trump Jr. will likely run for president. This is, okay, I would vote for Trump Jr. if the Democrats if Max Boot and Bill Kristol are still voting Democrat, I'm voting for Trump Jr. And if he has his father's foreign policy, which is a non-interventionist foreign policy, President Trump is the first president to step foot in North Korea. President Obama helped destroy a country named Libya with Biden, the exhumed body. I don't even want to get into it. I feel bad for the guy. And Madam Secretary, who's running again. I think that he could very well win the presidency if she runs in 2024. She's running in 2020. They have nobody. It's a theatrical performance. I will be right about this. I was right about Clinton losing in 2015. I said she would lose. Check the pinned comment below. I have my right under my H.A. Goodman check out H.A. Goodman's other channel, but right after my latest segment on H.A. Goodman's other channel is one of my first segments ever on this channel, and I talk about Clinton losing swing states, and I talk about favorability ratings. Okay? But how could she win if she'll lose again? They don't care about losing. How could she win if she's a criminal? Everyone becomes Harry Carey. They don't care. The Democratic Party doesn't exist. It's an extension of Bill and Hillary. But when she has to, what if she misses the time to, there is no paperwork. She runs the DNC, so give me a break. But anyway, if he continues, look, I would gladly vote for Trump Jr. over any Democrat. If it's Tulsi Gabbard and she still has the non-interventionist foreign policy, but then, see, this is the issue. I like Tulsi Gabbard a lot, but to win in the Democratic Party, I don't know if a complete implosion. Okay, first of all, Tulsi Gabbard got way more than, 2, 3, 4%. The threshold, they say, well, she didn't get 2% or 3%. She had far more support than what Democrats led on to. But anyway, she would be perhaps the only Democrat I would think of voting for because of her foreign policy. But then if it's, an emphasis on gun control, an emphasis on a whole bunch of other things, I wouldn't vote for her. But we'll see. I mean, if Donald Trump Jr. doesn't have the foreign policy of his father, if Max Boot and Bill Kristol, see, this would be the interesting thing. If whoever has the least hawkish foreign policy, I would vote for. That's why I liked Bernie Sanders over Clinton, and that's why I love President Trump over any Democrat today. And because they're just engaging in a theatrical performance for Clinton, who Max Boot and Bill Kristol will vote for. Now, it's like literally if you say the names of certain countries, it's like, a big problem. But I would totally vote for Trump Jr., especially if at that point, 2024, they're still going after corrupt intelligence chiefs. If they're still going after corrupt intelligence officials, yeah. I mean, the Democratic Party, think of the Democratic Party today. They're embracing people like Andrew McCabe, who will get indicted imminently. They're embracing James Comey, who was insubordinate, and endless insubordination, and he leaked information. He mishandled classified intelligence or classified information. He wrote this fictional account of a conversation with Trump and then said, these are my memos and they should be used for a special counsel, and then they were used for a special counsel. Then he covered up and covered up Clinton's crimes and said, well, she didn't mean to commit those crimes. And then people say, she wasn't indicted, it's like, yeah, well, whatever. It was a cover-up. Comey covered it up with his absurd press conference. And then he said, well, Loretta Lynch told me to call it a matter. Loretta Lynch said, no, he's lying. So who's lying there? Very likely Comey. But anyway, Loretta Lynch meets with Bill Clinton to speak about golf, Brexit, and grandchildren. The level of corruption in the Democratic side, by 2024, there will be no Twitter, so they'll have nothing to fall back on. The media will probably jettison the Democratic Party because they'll realize, my God, I mean, we can't go all in on a loser again. And so they'll be like just somewhat objective, but just probably leaning left even still. The media and the Democratic Party, Hollywood, they were all scorned after Trump won in 2020. 2024, Trump won in 2016. Trump will win again in 2020. It'll be Clinton versus Trump. It'll be a repeat of 2016. Biden's not going to be... Is there a person on the planet who thinks Biden will be the 2020 nominee with what's going on right now with the poor guy? Huh? And then Bernie, they cheated, so he's out of the picture. I mean, it'll be a sad and hilarious, and it'll be both sad and a bizarre vindication when he supports Hillary once again, two times the charm. You cheated me again. I love it. I can't wait. When he supports Hillary again, it'll be just a surreal moment. Like, what? Oh, well, And then Elizabeth Warren, okay, Kamala Harris went after Biden. The entire I'm with her universe, despises Bernie Sanders. Nobody's really gone after Warren. Nobody on the debate stage said, hey, wait a second, you failed your DNA test. What's that about? Okay. That's, so Clinton 2020 is going to happen. She's going to single-handedly, completely, and utterly, and it'll be beautiful and wonderful, obliterate the Democratic Party and the left and media and Hollywood all in one glorious election. 2020 you're going to wish you had 2016 again. People are like, I don't want to deal with it again. Oh, you're not only will you deal with it, you better enjoy it. Because if you don't enjoy it, you're just going to be like, oh my God. So just lay back, relax, enjoy that. It'll be a this is a theatrical performance. It'll be a horror show where, with a good ending. But if he's the antithesis of the Democratic Party, then I'll vote for him. I don't want to sneeze. If he's the antithesis of the Democratic Party, then I'll vote for him. Absolutely. In hindsight, I should have voted for President Trump. But it's like, this is interesting. So here. Okay. Republican strategist Rick Wilson predicted Donald Trump Jr., the president's eldest son, will run for office in 2024 and is likely to secure the GOP nomination. Daily Beast op-ed published Thursday. There are 3 2024 scenarios. Okay, become more obvious every day. Trump Jr., currently serving as a trustee and executive vice president for the Trump Organization, has been, quote, on the road, doing fundraising and political events for the Republican candidates. Wilson said the president's son is also on Fox News favorite. Okay, he is fluent in language of... Okay, so then this guy basically tries to... This is hilarious. So it's the Daily Beast. They made it... For them, it's like... Oh, okay, gotcha. So it's actually a hit piece. Members only. Gee, I'm going to subscribe to an unethical publication that wrote an unethical hit piece on me. Only because I was a Bernie Sanders supporter. That's how they do things. So, okay, Rick Wilson. Okay, so this is kind of a hit piece like, oh my God, don't worry about Trump. It's 2024. Don Jr. Donald Trump is locked in his now tiresome rage spiral as economic, foreign policy, and moral failures of his... What? Economic? Really? 3.7% unemployment going into his third year? 500,000 manufacturing jobs? Average GDP that defeats President Obama's average GDP? What else? Wages up? Stock market up? I mean, over his tenure? Finally addressing the trade imbalance with China, $400 billion and growing. Are you kidding? Foreign policy, first president to step foot in North Korea. What do the people of Libya think of President Obama's foreign policy? Moral failures? Lest we forget that President Obama's Secret Service failed to pay certain people in Colombia That's not family friendly, not algorithm friendly. Yeah, the moral failures. And the President Obama's administration was so moral when they were setting up and framing Trump with a dossier. Where is the Clinton dossier? We're just waiting for Trump Jr. or somebody to purchase it and get Christopher Wray to go after the Democrats. Yeah, right. The endless cycle of fail, lie, deny, rage tweet. Who cares about Twitter? Nobody cares. It's not going to even be in existence 5 years from now, or at least it won't be nearly as problematic or influential. So Rick Wilson. So this is basically he's a Republican strategist, so he's a never a Trump person. Oh, okay. We get it now. I know. It should have been Romney. This way Clinton would have steamrolled him, and we would have had a no-fly zone in a certain country where Russian jets are flying. That was fantastic. So Bill Kristol and Robert Kagan and Max Boot and all the wonderful people who have pushed for every failed catastrophe, foreign policy catastrophe that Clinton pushed, that establishment Republicans were on board with as well. They would not have presided over the beginning of détente and some kind of peace process between North and South Korea. They would not have addressed the $400 billion trade deficit that's only going to grow. By 2050, China is going to be the number one economy by far. We will be third behind India. It'll be China, India, and the United States. So, like the Daily Beast, that's an extension of the Democratic Party. It's like a Democratic Party newsletter. So that makes me like Trump Jr. in 2024 even more. Because they're like, oh my God, look, we have a rage tweet. Oh my God, we have this, this person on Twitter. Can you imagine 2024, Don Jr.? Yeah, if that is their biggest worry, totally, I'll vote for Trump. Trump Jr., yeah. If he has a less militant foreign policy, I'll vote for him. And if he focuses on issues like protecting the steel industry, President Trump signed the First Step Act. These are all things that President Trump's presiding over. He doesn't get credit for at all. Record low Black and Latino unemployment, addressing a whole lot of issues. That, under Obama presided over the largest expansion of domestic oil and gas production, and then we always hear climate change. And he deported over 3 million human beings with the same horrendous things taking place without just a word from. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. There were activist groups that did condemn, but nothing from the Daily Beast or anyone else. If it was President Obama, CNN, MSNBC could do no wrong. And that's the thing with Trump. They don't treat. This is what they do with Trump. They don't treat him like a president. They treat him like this nightmare that they have to constantly wake up to, and they're constantly trying to paint him in the worst light possible, and he still has a 43% favorite approval rating, and in some approval ratings much higher than that, and I think it's at aggregate 43% or 42%. And he's still, if they treated him just like a president. And then they want him to lash out. So they're like, oh my God, did you see what he did? Did you see what he did? Did you see what he did? And they didn't even do this with Bush, who was the worst president of all time. And Democrats have a positive favorability. They view Bush in a favorable light. That was a poll last year or 2 years ago. But so this guy's like, oh my God, Trump Jr. is going to win. Can you believe the state of the Republican Party? Yeah, the Republicans will never be the same. And guess what? Democrats won't either. Clinton's running in 2020. She ain't gonna, the Golden Moo ain't gonna win. Okay? Because she has to outspend Trump 2-1 to even get close to winning. She spent $1.2 billion to Trump's $600 million. She spent $143 million in Florida in ad campaigns. Trump spent $6.8 million. He won the state. You have to win 29 electoral college votes in Florida. If you don't win it, you're not going to win the presidency. So, and just in terms of, it's like a math equation. There's nobody on that debate stage currently that could even come close to getting $1.2 billion. Trump's going to get, by some estimates, $2 billion. Clinton runs, she gets easily $2.5 billion, but that's not twice as much. So they're, up the creek without a paddle. They're not going to win again. The media, the Democratic Party, the media, they're going to say, well, Clinton's going to be up. It's going to be the same thing over again. And it'll probably be going into 2020. He's down by 3.5. Nationally, what's going to happen? Clinton's going to do it this time. And then they'll lose miserably, and they will. The implosion will be more glorious than you could ever imagine. Because all the condemnation, the judgment, and the division that they created by setting up and framing Trump with a dossier Clinton purchased, all of that will, who knows how they're going to react. Give me your thoughts below. Interesting, very interesting. Trump Jr. will run. I mean, if Clinton loses again, it's Trump Jr.'s. I mean, this is the thing. If Democrats actually rebuild and win back voters that despise the Democratic Party, they could win another presidential election. Okay? But that they could decide to go further extreme left if they lose again, which would further obliterate the party. Who knows what they'll do? Who knows who they'll blame? And look, Clinton could run in 2024 again. So give me your thoughts below. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. Yeah, I'd vote for Trump Jr. Totally. If it means ensuring that Comey, Strzok, McCabe, Clapper, that justice takes place, if it means bringing home Americans, if it means the opposite of a Bill Kristol and Max Boot foreign policy, absolutely I'd vote for Trump Jr. Are you kidding? Especially with what President Trump is doing, and a whole lot of other things. Give me your thoughts below. Thank you so very much. What do you think? Would you vote for Trump Jr.? Thank you.